Hello, in this video, we're going to go over a basic product rule with just basically power rules. So what I'm basically going over, we're just going to go over the formation and how to solve a product rule with just simple calculus questions. And then in another video, we will go over a more advanced product rule. So the first thing we need to understand with product rule is that we have two functions being multiplied to one another, right? It is not just one function. We have, let's say if we have an example one, we have the x cubed. And then if we have what's in parentheses here, the 3x4 minus 2. So those are the two separate systems that we have. What we need to do, we're going to call this h of x. What we want is to derive h of x, the whole thing, the whole system. In order to do that, I can't just derive them straight ahead. What I need to do is we derive the first one, the f, and the g stays the same. We put a plus in between, and then we flip it. We do not derive the f of x. We leave the f of x equation there, and we derive the g of x equation. Now I'm going to rewrite it so there are no x's involved. I'm just going to do letters because sometimes that's a little easier to see. So f prime times g plus f times g prime. And as you can see, that's just, they're both exactly the same. Just one was with the x's, one is without. Sometimes some students just like to see either or, right? So let's continue. Okay. So let's do number one then. The first thing we need to recognize is what's my f of x, what's my g of x. Well, we see y is equal to negative x cubed times 3x to the 4 minus 2. My f of x, I'm going to denote negative x cubed. My g of x, I'm going to denote as 3x to the 4 minus 2. And from there, I'm going to take the derivatives. The derivative of f of x prime is negative 3x squared. We know it's power rule. The exponent multiplied to the front, subtract 1 from that exponent. Then we're going to derive the g prime of x equals, and we'll do the same thing. 4 times 3 is 12x. 4 minus 1 is 3. The derivative of negative 2 is just 0. So we see both of our derivatives. Then we're going to rewrite the equation. We know that y prime is going to be f prime g. Well, let's keep the colors, shall we? Will be f prime times g plus normal f times g prime. And now we're just going to plug and chug. Negative 3x squared is my f prime. My g is my regular g that has not been derived. My f that is not derived is negative x cubed. And then my g that is derived is 12x cubed. And that is it. That is how you derive a product rule. We will, of course, then need to clean it up and distribute. We'll have negative 9x to the 6 plus 6x squared, distributing and adding the exponents, plus, well, that's actually going to be a minus 12x to the 6, because we know when we multiply with the same base, the exponents will just add together. So then we can see clearly that my y prime is equal to negative 9x to the 6 plus 6x squared minus 12x to the 6. Oh, and we can combine these two. I just saw that, my fault. We can combine those two. Y prime is equal to negative 21x to the 6 plus 6x squared. That'll do that. That is that answer. Let's do one more. And then in another video, we will go over more complicated product rules. If there's a specific problem you would like me to cover, please just send me an email. and I will make another video with that specific problem. Let's box this guy up here. Okay. So I accidentally called this f of x. Let's call this h of x. So this method, what we did first was we listed f of x, g of x, took their derivatives, and just put them together, right? Just plugged in chug. Now, that is most likely going to be our easiest way to handle this one. But we can just go for it, right? So let's go h prime of x would be equal to, right? We're going to do f, which we're going to make this guy our f of x, this guy our g of x. And we're just going to jump straight into it. F prime times g plus f times g prime. And well, we know f of x is x squared. So what's the derivative of x squared? Derivative of x squared would just be 2x. And just keep the g. Do not derive the g. It's f prime times g. So we'll just rewrite what is there already. Negative 3x squared minus 2. And then a plus sign. And then we will derive leave the f, right? We leave the f. Then we derive the g, which is going to be negative 6x. So again, we can write them out, write their derivatives, plug and chug all those values to make it, a little more systematic. Or we can just go for it. If you are comfortable with seeing as it is, we can just go, well, x squared derivative is 2x, keep the g, keep the f, derive the g. And we know the derivative of this g is multiply 2 times 3, negative 6x, the derivative of negative 2 is 0, and that's it. We will then clean up. H prime of x is equal to negative 6x cubed minus 4x minus 6x cubed. Combine those, negative 12x cubed minus 4x will be our final answer. So those are two applications of basic product rule. F of x times g of x, we will be deriving f of x first, keep g of x, add them, put a plus sign in between the next two, like that one, and then plus sign. Don't derive f of x, derive g of x, multiply them, and then clean it all up. So not too bad. If you have any specific questions you'd like me to do, please just send me an email. Other than that, I hope everyone has a great day.